All right, welcome back to the Show Me Show podcast for episode 33.
Yeah.
Does that sound right,
Or
Luke?
episode 32, part 2, whatever.
Or yeah, 32 and a half as well, maybe. Whatever. But anyway, we've got our week 6 NFL preview, and this will be a much shorter show, but we definitely want to get our picks out there. We're on a little bit of a roll, not to jinx. Although that might jinx once we start get to talking about this slate because it's an interesting slate. But 2 bye weeks or 4 teams are on the bye this week. Houston Texans, the Tennessee Titans, the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Detroit Lions. So a few less games, which does suck as the viewer. But just to put that out there, if you don't hear those teams during the picks, yeah, first
get prepared because the next 8 weeks are going to have teams with buys. So
yeah, which sucks and it throws things off, but that's just how it is. But yeah, so we went 11-5 last week again.
That's a playoff team right there.
That is a playoff team. And although it would have to be 11-5-1 nowadays, but
true.
Current record now is 33-31 after a very bad 12-20 start. So no big deal, but we're going to just jump on into it. So week 6 here, we have a very tough eyesore tomorrow night. We're recording this on Wednesday at 10:30, but tomorrow night, a true eyesore, yet I'll probably still watch. And once I turn it on, it'll have to just stay on because sadly it's on Amazon and you can't switch the channel to the MLB games because you're stuck on Amazon. So that's kind of a suck, but that's how it is, I guess. Commanders at Bears. And I just wanted to point this out. The line for this one is even, and we don't really talk about the lines on the games, but I think it's just important to point out because this is just a true toss-up game. And I really don't know, but it is my turn to pick the games this week. And I said Commanders. Now, keep in mind, Luke does have some vetoes, but I said Commanders, and Luke, I'm just going to try and convince you. I think the Commanders' offense is better than the Bears' offense and can actually score more points against the Bears' defense than inevitably that the Bears would ever be able to score against the Commanders' defense. And that's what I'm going with on this one. I just think Carson Wentz can, he's obviously not great, as Ron Rivera said this week, as that's what's holding them back. But I think they can score more than the Bears because the Bears are lost right now on offense. So I think I'm going to go Commanders. What do you think?
Sorry about that. I missed the last little bit there. Did you say you had the Commanders?
Oh, yeah. I have no idea how much didn't record. Oh, wait. Was it still recording?
Yeah, I just got up and
I
had to talk.
Yeah. I was trying to convince you like that must have looked really funny on YouTube because I was looking at my screen. I didn't know that you were off the screen, so I was just talking to nobody. But what I was trying to say is I just think that the Commanders' offense will do better against the Bears' defense than the Bears' offense will do against the Commanders' defense, and that's why I'm picking them.
I like that. You have the Commanders. Okay. I'm not going to argue. I think this might be – the Commanders are bad, but bad teams get wins throughout the year, and I think this might be just one of those wins that they get. So, in prime time.
Yeah, I mean, they're 1-4, so they're due for one.
Exactly. I'll take that pick. Yeah, Commanders.
Next one, I put Patriots at Browns, or the next game is Patriots at Browns. I put Patriots with a question mark. What do you think? I mean, I don't have a whole lot of reasoning behind this besides the fact that they just goose-egged the Lions at home.
I have reasoning behind it, and it's because I think the Browns suck, and I'll take the Patriots as well.
Okay, then let's just move on. Let's just roll with a Bill Belichick revenge game because he coached the Browns. So let's just roll with it. Next one, don't have to talk about it too much because I don't want to anyway. Buccaneers at Steelers. Buccaneers.
Yeah, that's an obvious one right there.
And
Really good team
then
versus really bad team.
yeah, and then a toss-up game in my eyes. Not the line setters, but because this one was minus 5.5 to the 49ers, but
Ooh.
49ers at Falcons. And I picked the 49ers, but this is also a very easy spot for a Falcons win. But I want to go 49ers just because they're kind of hot right now.
Yeah, their offense looked good last week, but I don't know. The Falcons are frisky. This might be a Falcons win. I might have to pick them.
I'm just not sure. I think the ultimate reason why I went with the 49ers because is the Falcons are coming off the demoralizing loss against the Buccaneers where they probably could have won. And the 49ers just have, they have Nick Bosa. So I think he can actually keep Mariota in the pocket a little bit more. And I actually just think because of the 49ers defense that they're going to win this game. But you have your vetoes. So if you want to circle back, we can, or if you just want to flat out use it right now.
I'll circle back because I don't hate the 49ers pick, so I'll circle back. I'll see.
Okay. So for now, 49ers. Next up, we have Jets at Packers. And I went with the Packers, but I think, this is like a changing of the guard. The Jets might make this competitive.
I think this is a classic. Jets are running a hot hand right now, and the Packers are coming off a very brutal loss. I think it's at Lambeau. I think this is a huge Packers bounce back game. I agree with the Packers pick, but I think it might be a blowout. Sadly.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean the Jets. I think they're better than what we thought, but I think people are going to ride them a little bit too high. So Packers.
Yeah. Jaguars at Colts. Colts is the pick.
Yeah. I mean the Colts always struggle when they go to Jacksonville, but I think they're perfect when the Jaguars go to Indianapolis. So, yeah.
Yeah. My only concern for this pick is that what if Trevor Lawrence has a bounce back game like all of a sudden?
That's true.
So
the Colts haven't looked good either.
That's the big concern for me. Yeah, and the Colts aren't good. Like that's just a fact. But neither are the Jaguars. But if Trevor Lawrence plays good, then they can win. Like, because we forget that just a couple of weeks ago. They literally demolished the Chargers.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And the Colts, they just give off tie energy. I know they already have a tie this year, but there's always a team that
AFC South as a whole is a tie.
That's true. Not the Titans. They don't feel like a tie team. I feel like a team that's either going to win or lose. I don't know why.
I guess, but 75% of the division is a tie. So
okay, yeah, that's true.
But yeah, we're gonna go with the Colts. This one, Vikings at Dolphins. It's in Miami. I have the Dolphins unless Tua starts because Skylar Thompson was not it, and I don't trust Teddy Bridgewater. And even if Teddy Bridgewater starts, I'm still taking the Vikings.
See, that's a tough one, and it doesn't appear that Tua is going to start.
Mm-hmm.
They said he's going to clear concussion protocol, it looks like, but they're going to keep him out one more game. So I'll take the Vikings as well. But I will say that if Tua comes back, if he somehow miraculously plays, I think we do take the Dolphins then.
Yeah, that's what I have it in parentheses as of right now, unless Tua starts. But
all right, we'll just make that public. So it's Vikings unless Tua plays. That's a fun matchup, though. Good colors.
Oh yeah, it's a good jersey combo too, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Bengals at Saints. So I feel like I owe it to the Saints. I'd said that they needed a prove it to me game, and they had that last week. And I think the Bengals' struggle woes are going to continue 1 week longer, and the Saints are going to win at home.
I don't know. The Saints, the Seahawks, they aren't that good of a team, and the Saints barely beat them at home. And that was due to literally Taysom Hill just having, like we said in the last episode, his random breakout game of the year. Like he always has a few games where he just randomly breaks out. And so that's the only thing holding me back in this is that what are the chances that Taysom Hill repeats that? And the Bengals are good. So what are the chances that I don't know. I might use my veto on this and say the Bengals.
Okay. The only thing I can really say to convince you is that the Bengals offense is not humming. Jamar Chase not humming. I
He's
have no
silent.
idea what his deal is, but I have him on my fantasy and he is not humming. And Joe Mixon's good for like 75 rushing yards, but their rushing attack is not good. I don't know. I think we talked about this last episode. So like probably like an hour ago, where I was like, I still think they're good, but they're like having trouble here at the beginning of the season. But it's week 6, so you gotta figure it out soon. It's the same situation with the Rams. You gotta figure it out soon. So maybe this is where they figure it out. But the Saints defense is
That's
good.
what I'm thinking. Yeah. I don't know. The Saints
But
defense has
are
been
they that great anymore? You know, now that I think about it, are the Saints defense that
I was
great
just
anymore?
getting ready to
They
say,
just gave up 32.
They've been underwhelming this year. They gave up 28 to the Vikings the week before too. So they've been very underwhelming in my opinion this year. You know, they got the Honey Badger out there. They got some other guys, you know, some repeating guys like Cam Jordan that have been there for a while and Devontae Davis. And they just really been kind of underwhelming. And that's kind of weird because their defensive coach got a promotion. So
yeah, I think losing Marcus Williams hurt them, even though they did get the Honey Badger. Marcus Williams is a stud. I mean, he's infamously known for missing the tackle on Stephon Diggs in the Minneapolis Miracle, but I mean, he is a stud. So I think they do miss him, but their front seven just has really regressed. Besides like Cam Jordan, they just, they aren't really that good in the front seven anymore. So it seems like Luke's going to use his veto there for the Bengals. And I can see the Bengals winning this and getting on track, if you will. So
it's a clean veto.
Yeah. Next game, Ravens at Giants, and this is in New York. And I think this is a prove-it game for the Ravens, and I took the Ravens.
I'll take the Ravens as well. The Giants they might actually be good. Yeah. But they're not going to be like good. So I think this is a game that they end up losing. It'll be close. It'll be a fight till the end.
It'll be close. It'll be a good game. So
but I think the Ravens win.
I think this is a big game for Lamar. And maybe not like a huge stat game, but like maybe like a game-winning drive type of deal or
Justin
something.
Tucker kicks a game-winning field goal again.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row. Next one is a little bit easier, I think. Panthers at Rams, and Panthers are really bad, so Rams.
Yeah.
And this is a big opportunity for the Rams to figure some stuff out. So
huge bounce back week. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's at home, so that helps. You don't have to travel literally all the way across the country. And the Panthers do, so that sucks for them. This is one of my favorite games just because the Seahawks are super fun right now. Cardinals at Seahawks, and I picked the Hawks at home.
I mean,
it's a toss-up. Don't get me wrong.
It is a toss-up, but the Cardinals this year have had a really, really tough time in the first half of games. And I think it'll be one of those like where it comes down, but I don't know. Pete Carroll he might have that in him where like Cliff Kingsbury doesn't, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And Geno Smith has looked good, and I don't
Geno's
hate this pick.
Good. Yeah,
I don't hate this pick, so I'll keep with it. The Cardinals have been really underwhelming so far this year, so I'll take the
Yes,
Seahawks.
they have. We're used to them dominating in the first half of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Not this year.
That's true.
Next one, I feel like you might use a veto here, but Bills at Chiefs, and I said Chiefs, and my reasoning was I don't want to pick against Mahomes at home. And, the Bills have shown that they are, they're not Superman. They're the best team in the NFL, but they're not Superman. They lost to the Dolphins, who are good, but, they lost to the Dolphins. So I want to take the Chiefs at home.
I'm going to go with you. The reason I don't feel strong about, I mean, obviously it's the Bills and Chiefs, so you're not going to feel strong about it either way.
Yeah, you're just
But
not.
this is kind of like a revenge game because the Bills would have won the Super Bowl last year, I feel like, had they got the ball first in overtime. And so this is like their big monster. Like if we beat the Chiefs, then like their confidence is at like max. Like they're like it's truly is Super Bowl or bust at that point if they win this game. But that's why I think it might make the season more interesting if they don't, because then the
Yeah,
Chiefs are still Big Brother, and we'll have to wait for the playoffs to get a part two of that. And so yeah,
I
I'll
think
take the Chiefs.
I think if the Chiefs win this game, I think the Bills beat them in the playoffs.
I agree. I think that's what's going to happen. That's why I'm taking the
Here
Chiefs.
we like sitting in week 6, just watching how things are going. I think that might happen, and I would assume Tony Romo's on the call for this game, and I kind of hope he is.
And Jim Nance.
Yeah, this is. I mean, this has got to be game of the week. I can't
Game of the
wait to
year.
watch this one.
This
Yeah,
game of the
should be
year.
one of them. So hopefully it's a good game. Hopefully the offenses are humming. I kind of just hope they're humming. So next one, Cowboys at Eagles. This is Sunday Night Football. Really big game. Cowboys 4-1, Eagles 5-0. The only justification I have for this pick is that the Eagles are at home, and that's why I picked them.
Yeah, I mean, this is a battle of the undefeateds. You got the undefeated Eagles, and then you got undefeated Cooper Rush. So
Yep, that's
something's
true.
got to give. And I think I don't. This is tough because the Eagles'
It's a
offense
tough
is
one.
kind of they've kind of been sneakily not that like they got off to a
Yeah, that's what
bang,
I've been saying, man.
and
They'll put up points early and then they're just like done. They just like take the rest of the game off.
exactly. And the Cowboys' defense has been really, really good this year. And I know you might not. I might use my second veto on this game. I
Wow.
think this
Okay.
is
I
where the
actually
eagle
didn't
is
expect you
slain.
to do that, but
I feel really confident about I mean, something's got to give. The Eagles have been slowly the last few weeks. They've just been slowly getting closer in these games and haven't been as good. And I guess this means I can't use my veto on the 49ers and Falcons game anymore. That would have been a fun pick, but I'm more confident about this one because something's got to give. And
I think
Cooper Rush has
I
been really
see
good.
your angle. I see your angle on it from the fact that so if the Eagles usually start early, like they score early, but what if the Cowboys just don't allow them to score early? Then what happens? So this might be like
Yep.
a final score of like 16-10 or something like that.
Oh, it definitely could. This is going to be a
This is
sneaky
not going to be a high scoring
under.
affair.
Yeah. And it's on Sunday Night Football, and Sunday Night Football has not had good offenses this year. So, I mean, this game, it's a sneaky, like, second game of the week. I mean, if it wasn't for Bills and Chiefs, this would be the game of the week.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. It's really tough. I wouldn't be shocked if the Eagles come out of this, but I really like Cowboys have looked really good. They've had some big wins here recently. And, I mean, the Eagles, no team's going to go undefeated. They got to lose at some point. And I think this might be
Yeah.
where it happens on Sunday Night Football against the really good Cowboys defense. Jalen Hurts might have a rough game. And I think that it's not going to be high scoring, but I think the Cowboys pulled out.
All right. I'm just thinking about it now. Like, if the Eagles do lose, they are going to be so mean to Cowboy fans that go to that game. That is just
Oh,
going
yeah.
to be a 100% given.
Mm-hmm.
Last game on the slate, so a little bit smaller slate, like we said, minus 2 games. Broncos at Chargers, so we get the Broncos thrown in our face again on prime time. Chargers.
You see, I want to say this is the week that the Broncos break out, but it came out that Russell Wilson had like the surgery on his torn lat or something, or he's playing with a torn lat, I do believe it was. And the Chargers are the Chargers. I mean, that's self-explanatory. You
They
never know
scored
what's
30
going to happen.
points last week.
I know.
But it
They're,
is the Broncos defense who's really good.
I know,
So
but the Broncos' red zone offense just scares me. They can't score on the goal line. They can't get in the end zone, which is, I mean, goal line offense with Russell Wilson isn't. It's historically that hasn't really been real good, but if you look at Super Bowl history anyway. But I don't hate the pick, so I don't have a veto left, so I have to go with the
yeah,
Chargers.
that's true. You do have to go with it, but I will try to sell you on it a little bit. So last week, Matt Ryan and Russell Wilson, two quarterbacks with four more Pro Bowls. Neither of them scored a touchdown. I mean, think about it this. Justin Herbert, even against in that game against the Jaguars, they still scored a touchdown. So even at their worst, they still scored a touchdown. So I just think that Justin Herbert, even if it's a low scoring affair, I think he's going to do just enough to put him over the top because
Okay.
they're also at home. He actually plays pretty well at home. So I think the Chargers got this one. And I think it might be close again. Because the Broncos
I
defense
know it's
keeps
going to be
every
close,
single game close. So
and so do the Chargers.
um, yeah, so the Chargers just being the Chargers keep every game close. So,
Exactly.
um, but I just want to take the Chargers here. So one note we said that I just noted is we've had some good weeks lately, as we've talked about, but this week I don't feel very confident that we're going to go like 11-5 or even 10-6. This might be well, first off, we can't even do that because there's two less weeks. So, but
Yeah, that's true. Two less games.
not sure how this one's going to go. This is
We'll see. I actually feel confident in a lot of them, surprisingly.
some of them there's some gimmies, I think, but even in gimmies in
The
the
Buccaneers
NFL,
and
it seems like
Steelers.
there's always gimmies that will go the other way. So who
Yeah, like
knows?
the
But
Buccaneers over Steelers and the Rams over Panthers. I feel like that's like a
yeah, I feel good
guaranteed
about those.
win.
I feel like those are free wins for the show me show.
Yeah.
But there's some ones out there that like Jaguars at Colts. Pick the Colts. That is
Yeah.
not a gimme game. It looks like a gimme game, but it's just not. So we'll just have to see. And same with Jets at Packers. I know you think that the Packers are going to blow them out, but the Jets are like this is the best stretch of Jets football in probably like 3 or 4 years, which is crazy to say because it's only been like 2 games.
Yeah.
So, um, who knows? Who knows? Um, yeah, I think we'll actually pretty much wrap it up here, unless you want to talk college football for about 10 minutes.
I think we haven't really talked college football much. I will say that there's a big slate coming up this weekend. Some
Huge.
massive, massive
I
games.
can't. I'm literally so excited.
Yeah. Alabama,
I can't wait.
Tennessee, Michigan, Penn State, Mississippi State, Kentucky, Utah, and USC even. So there's some big games, but I do think that we just have like an episode like halfway through the year, which I think it might actually be halfway through the year now, but where we just talk about it like for an hour, just straight college football.
Oh,
Because me and you, when we
sounds
get
good to
going,
me.
we can't stop. So
Yeah. So yeah, Luke named off the big ones. Obviously, the biggest one to me is Tennessee at Alabama. I'm sorry, Alabama at Tennessee. Sorry, this is in Knoxville. So for me, I think if you're Tennessee, you've got to use the checkerboard crowd. You've got to checkerboard it out. The big point in this game is for Alabama is if Bryce Young plays, because if Jalen Milroe plays, Nick Saban will keep it close because he's that good. But if Jalen Milroe plays, the backup quarterback for Alabama, I think Tennessee actually wins this game. But if Bryce Young plays, then I think Alabama will actually win this game. But Tennessee, they also have another big player that's kind of maybe he's in, maybe he's out. Cedric Tillman, their stud wide receiver. I mean, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. If he doesn't go, that's really going to help Alabama out because their secondary isn't the greatest this year, which is crazy to say about Alabama. And if they don't have to guard Cedric Tillman, that's going to really, really help them out. So Bryce Young plays, that's really going to help them out. If Cedric Tillman plays, that's really going to help Tennessee out. Obviously, those are obvious things, but this is just going to be awesome. Awesome game. I mean, It's been, I think, since Josh Dobbs' senior year, the last time these two teams both came in undefeated. And that Josh Dobbs team was kind of a fraud. I mean, they got like lucky one game with a Hail Mary to Jawan Jennings over, I think, I want to say like Vanderbilt or Georgia. I have no idea. I can't spot that game right now, but um, yeah, so both of these teams are for real. Hendon Hooker's for real. Heupel, I remember at the beginning of the year, I had to try and sell Luke on Heupel,
You
and
won that.
we're Heupel is the real deal right now, man. Tennessee feels like '98, so they look really good. To check up on Mizzou, they're off this week in preparation for homecoming week against Vanderbilt, which is a must win, by the way. But they lost a tough one at Florida. They're losing games close, it seems like, every weekend now.
They're covering them.
Which the great Bobby Bowden once said, in order to build a program the right way, you have to lose big, lose close, win close, then win big. So right now it seems like we're in the lose close phase. So hopefully we can make the jump to the win close games by at least the end of the year so that we don't have to start that next year. Maybe we can get into the win big area next year, but doubtful, but just hopeful here. So yeah, but they're off this week.
And also with that loss to Florida, Coach Drink is now 0-3 in evaluation games that we had at the beginning of the year.
Exactly.
And the two other evaluation games, one of them is at Tennessee. So that at this point in the season seems like an automatic loss. And the other one's a home game with Arkansas, which, you know, we might have a chance in that. But that's the last chance for Drink to get a win in an evaluation game. So it's but I think at this point, South Carolina may be an evaluation game. I think we had that as a loss entering the year, like guaranteed. I think we switched the Tennessee and South Carolina one because the Tennessee one is going to be a loss.
But I thought we already had Tennessee. Tennessee was already an automatic loss.
I don't think so.
No, I'm pretty sure it was.
Okay. So, but we're fine including South Carolina in the.
I'm fine including Arkansas. But yeah, South Carolina.
That one was. Yeah. South Carolina is an evaluation game, though.
Okay. One thing I was pointing out was it didn't happen, but I was going to tell you this. If Drink would have beaten Georgia, then we would have just thrown out the evaluation games. Exactly. Even if he loses all 5 of them, I would have been like, he beat Georgia. He bought himself a year.
Oh, definitely. He
that
definitely
would have been incredible. So, but he didn't. Some other games.
Brady Cook sucks too.
Yeah, Brady Cook. I hate his haircut. He is so inconsistent. His haircut sucks.
His haircut's so bad. Makes him look like a prick.
He, like I said, he's super inconsistent. Will hit some guys. He's really good at throwing the dig route, and that's about it. Our defense is really good, though. So it's crazy how good our defense is. Another game, a game to watch for me. UNC travels to Duke this weekend, and Duke is not bad. North Carolina is 5-1, and they've won 3 road games this year, and we didn't win a single one last year. So it's at Duke. Last time I checked, they had only sold like 10 or 15,000 tickets, but now I think it's close to a sellout, with a majority of those fans being North Carolina fans. So UNC fans might invade Wallace Wade this weekend, which will be fun. That game's at 7:00, so I'm not sure what time Alabama Tennessee starts, but that's usually 2:30. I think like 2:30.
Yes.
Okay, so hopefully I can watch all that in full, and then North Carolina in full, along with probably Penn State and
Michigan,
Ohio State,
Michigan and Penn State.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, and North Carolina had a crazy win last week over Miami, where Tyler Van Dyke, who I drafted at the beginning of this year, almost threw for 500 yards passing, but that's just typical North Carolina defense. But I'm trying to think. There was another. Oh, both USC and UCLA are 5 or 6-0 right now. So
UCLA had a huge win this week against Utah.
yes, they did. Like
they're for real.
Huge win against Washington. So, or was that Utah?
Washington? No, it was Utah. They beat Washington last week.
Yeah,
so back-to-back.
They're on a roll right now. Yeah. So,
Chip Kelly.
USC has a huge game, like Luke said, against Utah, though.
Yep. All right. Well, that's about the 30-minute mark in this episode. So, thank you all for tuning in, and we wish you a great, like we just said, it's going to be a great week of football. So,
yeah. Also, shout out to Ryan Jostis for receiving his first offer from Kansas.
Hey, how about that? Kansas is kind of a winning program at this point.
Yeah,
so.
rock chalk. So,
all right. See you guys in the next one.